Mom, what are you doing here? I didn't know you were coming over today.
Oh, I was just passing by and thought I'd help out. You looked so tired yesterday, honey. I sterilized all these bottles properly. You weren't doing it right.
What do you mean I wasn't doing it right? I've been following the pediatrician's instructions exactly.
Well, doctors don't know everything, dear. I raised 3 children successfully. I think I know a thing or two about baby bottles. Plus, I organized his clothes by size. They were all mixed up.
Mom, I had them organized my way, and you can't just walk into my house whenever you feel like it. What if I had been sleeping or feeding him?
For heaven's sake, Chloe, I'm trying to help you. You're so sensitive about everything. I never had this attitude with my mother when you were born.
This isn't about attitude. This is about boundaries. You come here without asking. You rearrange my things. You criticize how I'm taking care of my baby.
Don't you dare raise your voice at me, young lady. I am your mother, and I am trying to help because clearly you're overwhelmed and not thinking straight.
Not thinking straight? Are you kidding me right now? I'm thinking perfectly clearly. Clear enough to see that you're taking over my life and my baby's life.
Taking over? Taking over. I'm helping you because you obviously can't handle this on your own. Look at this place. Look at yourself. When's the last time you showered?
Oh my God, Mom, get out. Get out of my house right now.
I am not leaving when my grandson needs proper care. Someone has to make sure he's getting what he needs since you're falling apart.
I am not falling apart. I'm learning to be a mother, but you won't let me.
Learning? Learning. Chloe, that baby has been crying for 10 minutes, and you haven't even gone upstairs. I know what I'm doing. You clearly don't.
You want to know why I'm struggling? Because every single day you come here and tell me I'm doing everything wrong. Every feeding, every diaper change, every decision, you have something to say.
Because you are doing things wrong. I bite my tongue most of the time, but someone needs to guide you. You can't just figure this out as you go.
That's exactly what being a new parent means, figuring it out. But how can I when you swoop in and take over every chance you get?
I take over because you freeze up. Yesterday, you stared at him crying for 5 minutes before doing anything. I had to step in.
I was thinking about what might be wrong. That's called being thoughtful, not freezing up. But you grabbed him from my arms before I could even try.
Well, maybe if you had better instincts. Look, some women are natural mothers and others need more help. There's no shame in admitting you need guidance.
Natural mothers? Are you saying I'm not a natural mother? Are you seriously questioning my maternal instincts right now?
I'm saying you're new at this and I'm experienced. Why is that so threatening to you?
Because you're not helping. You're undermining everything I do. You make me feel like a failure in my own home with my child.
That's not my intention. I'm trying to make sure my grandson gets the best care possible. If that hurts your feelings, then maybe you need thicker skin.
Thicker skin? This isn't about hurt feelings. This is about you completely taking over and making me feel incompetent.
If you're feeling incompetent, that's not on me. That's something you need to work through. I can't walk on eggshells because you're insecure.
I'm not insecure. I'm a new mother trying to bond with my baby while my own mother criticizes every move I make.
And it's not just the criticism, Mom. You make decisions about him without asking me. Yesterday, you gave him water because you thought he was thirsty. He's only 2 months old. A little water never hurt anyone. You're being paranoid about every little thing because you read too much on the internet. The pediatrician specifically said no water until 6 months, but you dismiss that because you know better than medical professionals? I raised 3 healthy children without consulting Google every 5 minutes. Sometimes experience trumps whatever trendy advice doctors are giving these days.
Trendy advice? It's evidence-based medicine. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. You completely disregard what I want from my own child.
What you want isn't always what's best. You wanted to breastfeed exclusively, but look how stressed you are. Maybe formula would be better for everyone.
Don't you dare tell me how to feed my baby. Breastfeeding is working fine. The only stress is coming from you constantly questioning it.
It's not working fine if you're this miserable. I can see you're struggling, but you're too proud to admit it.
I'm struggling because you've made me doubt everything I do. Every time he cries, I wonder if you think I'm failing him.
Well, maybe some self-reflection wouldn't hurt. I'm not the enemy here. I'm trying to help my daughter and grandson.
By taking over everything, you've turned what should be a learning experience into a performance review where I'm always failing.
If you see it as failing, that's your perspective. I see it as necessary guidance for someone who's clearly overwhelmed.
You know what the worst part is? You don't just criticize, you go behind my back. You told the neighbors I was having trouble breastfeeding. That was private.
I was concerned. Mrs. Rodriguez asked how you were doing, and I was honest. Is that such a crime?
Yes, it is a crime when it's my private struggles that I didn't consent to share. You made me look incompetent to our neighbors.
You're being dramatic. I was just being honest about how hard this transition has been for you. People understand.
Being honest? You told them I was having trouble adjusting and that you were helping me through it. Do you know how humiliating that was?
You are having trouble adjusting, and I am helping you through it. What's humiliating about accepting help from your mother?
Because it makes me look like I can't handle my own life. You're broadcasting my private struggles like they're public knowledge.
Your private struggles affect my grandson, too. I have a right to be concerned and to seek support from our community.
No, you don't. You don't have a right to share details about my postpartum experience with anyone without my permission.
I'm your mother. I have the right to be worried and to talk to people who care about our family.
Being worried doesn't give you the right to violate my privacy. You made me the neighborhood charity case.
Charity case. I was showing how much I care about you. Everything I do comes from love, even if you're too stubborn to see it.
Love? Love? Mom, love doesn't involve constantly undermining someone's confidence. Love doesn't mean taking over their life.
I'm not taking over your life. I'm participating in my grandson's life because he matters to me. Why is that so wrong?
Because the way you participate makes me feel invisible in my own child's life. You hold him more than I do when you're here.
Maybe because you hand him to me every time he gets fussy. I'm not stealing him from you. You're giving him up.
I hand him to you because you make me feel like I don't know how to comfort my own baby. You swoop in the second he makes a sound.
Because I can tell when you're getting frustrated. I'm trying to give you a break before you get overwhelmed.
But I need to learn to handle the frustration. I need to figure out how to comfort him myself, but you never give me the chance.
Fine. Next time I'll let you struggle while he screams his head off. Is that what you want?
Yes, I want to struggle. I want to figure it out. I want to be allowed to be his mother without you hovering over everything I do.
You want to struggle? You want me to stand by and watch my grandson be upset when I know I can help him? That's selfish.
It's not selfish to want to parent my own child. It's selfish of you to prioritize your need to help over my need to learn.
My need to help? My need to help? I don't need anything except to see my grandson happy and my daughter not falling apart.
Well, here's something that might shock you. I was actually doing okay before you started coming over every single day. I was figuring things out at my own pace.
Doing okay? You called me crying 3 times in the first week. You begged me to come help you.
I called you for support, not to have you move in and take over. There's a difference between helping and controlling.
Controlling? Controlling? I'm trying to make sure my grandson gets proper care. If that's controlling, fine, I'm controlling.
At least you admit it. You're controlling and it's destroying our relationship and my confidence as a mother.
If your confidence is that fragile, maybe you weren't ready to be a mother. Some people need more preparation time.
Weren't ready to be a mother? Are you out of your mind? I've wanted this baby for years. I'm plenty ready. I just need space to figure it out.
Wanting something and being prepared for it are two different things. And clearly, you need more help than you're willing to admit.
I need help, not a replacement. But you can't tell the difference because you think you know better than everyone else.
I do know better about some things. I have experience that you don't have. Why can't you just accept that and learn from it?
Because your way of teaching is taking over completely. You don't teach, you demonstrate by pushing me aside.
I push you aside because you freeze up and he needs immediate attention. I can't let him suffer while you figure things out.
And another thing, you can't keep using your spare key to come in whenever you want. This is my home, not yours.
I use the key when I'm worried about you both. What if something happened and you couldn't answer the door?
Nothing's going to happen. And if something did, I'd call for help. You can't just let yourself in because you're worried.
So now I'm not allowed to worry about my daughter and grandson? I'm supposed to just forget you exist unless you specifically invite me over?
You're allowed to worry, but worry doesn't give you permission to violate my privacy and space. Call first, like everyone else.
Everyone else? Everyone else? I'm not everyone else. I'm your mother. I have different privileges than everyone else.
Being your mother doesn't give you the right to ignore my boundaries. I'm an adult with my own family now.
Your own family? Your own family that includes my grandson? I have a relationship with him too, not just through you.
Your relationship with him goes through me because I'm his mother. You can't just bypass me because it's more convenient.
Bypass you? I'm trying to support both of you, but you make everything so difficult with all these rules and boundaries.
Rules and boundaries exist for a reason. They're not there to make your life difficult. They're there to protect mine.
Protect you from what? From your own mother trying to help? From someone who loves you both more than life itself?
Protect me from losing myself completely, from becoming a bystander in my own child's life, from never getting to figure out who I am as a mother. Do you want to know what really scared me? Last week when you took him to the park without telling me, I woke up from a nap and he was just gone. He needed fresh air, and you were exhausted. I left a note on the kitchen counter. It's not my fault you didn't see it. A note? A note? You took my 2-month-old baby out of the house without my permission, and you think a note makes that okay?
Permission? I don't need permission to take my grandson for a walk. I was helping by letting you sleep.
Yes, you do need permission. He's not your baby. You can't just take him places without checking with me first.
I've been taking babies places for 30 years. I think I can handle a simple walk to the park with my own grandson.
That's not the point. The point is that I didn't know where my baby was. Do you have any idea how that feels?
Well, if you had seen the note, you would have known. I tried to be considerate by not waking you up.
Considerate? Considerate would have been asking me before taking him. Waking me up to ask permission would have been considerate.
Fine. Next time I'll wake you up every time I want to help, even if you're finally getting some rest. Is that better?
Next time, ask. Whether I'm sleeping or not, you ask before taking my baby anywhere. It's that simple.
It's not that simple when you're being unreasonable. Sometimes decisions need to be made quickly for everyone's benefit.
Taking a baby to the park is never a decision that needs to be made quickly. That's something you plan and discuss.
I read an article about how fresh air helps babies sleep better. I was trying to help him with his sleep schedule that you've been struggling with.
You read an article? You read one article and decided that trumped everything I've been trying with his sleep schedule?
I've read dozens of articles. I'm trying to stay informed so I can help you both. Why is that wrong?
Because you take one piece of information and act on it without discussing it with me. I'm his mother. I should be involved in decisions about his care.
You are involved. I tell you what I'm doing. I explained about the fresh air when I got back.
Telling me after the fact isn't involving me. Involving me means asking what I think before you do something.
But if you ask, you just get anxious and overthink everything. Sometimes it's easier to just handle things and explain later.
Easier for who? It's easier for you, but it makes me feel like I have no say in my own child's life.
You have plenty of say, but you can't have say in everything every single minute. Some things I can handle independently.
Taking my baby out of the house is not something you can handle independently. That requires my explicit permission every single time.
Explicit permission? What are you, his bodyguard? I'm his grandmother. I love him just as much as you do.
Loving him doesn't give you parental authority. I don't care how much you love him. I'm his mother and I make the decisions.
Fine. You make all the decisions. But don't call me when you're overwhelmed and need help, because apparently I can't do anything right.
This isn't about you doing things right or wrong. This is about you doing things without me. I want your help, but I want to be included in the process.
Included in the process of what? Every diaper change, every feeding, every time he needs something? That's exhausting for everyone.
No, included in the decisions that affect his routine, his health, his safety, the big things, not every tiny detail.
Well, how was I supposed to know that taking him to the park was a big thing? It seemed like a normal grandmother activity to me.
Because he's 2 months old and has never been to a park before, because I didn't know where he was, because you didn't ask.
Okay, I get it about asking, but you have to admit you're being overly anxious about normal activities.
I'm not being overly anxious. I'm being protective of my newborn baby. There's a difference.
Protective is one thing, but you act like the world is going to end if anything doesn't go exactly according to your plan.
Your plan? My plan? You mean my attempt to establish some kind of routine and stability for him?
Your attempt to control every single variable in his life. Babies are more resilient than you think.
He's 2 months old. He's not resilient. He's completely dependent on me to keep him safe.
And he's also completely dependent on having a mother who isn't paralyzed by anxiety. Sometimes flexibility is better than rigid control.
This isn't about you doing things right or wrong. This is about you doing things without me. I want your help, but I want to be included in the process.
Included in the process of what? Every diaper change? Every feeding? Every time he needs something? That's exhausting for everyone.
No, included in the decisions that affect his routine, his health, his safety, the big things, not every tiny detail.
Well, how was I supposed to know that taking him to the park was a big thing? It seemed like a normal grandmother activity to me.
Because he's 2 months old and has never been to a park before, because I didn't know where he was, because you didn't ask.
Okay, I get it about asking, but you have to admit you're being overly anxious about normal activities.
I'm not being overly anxious. I'm being protective of my newborn baby. There's a difference.
Protective is one thing, but you act like the world is going to end if anything doesn't go exactly according to your plan.
My plan? My plan? You mean my attempt to establish some kind of routine and stability for him?
Your attempt to control every single variable in his life. Babies are more resilient than you think.
He's 2 months old. He's not resilient. He's completely dependent on me to keep him safe.
And he's also completely dependent on having a mother who isn't paralyzed by anxiety. Sometimes flexibility is better than rigid control.
Do you know what's really destroying me? I feel like I can't trust my own instincts anymore because you're always correcting them.
I'm not correcting your instincts, I'm sharing my experience. But if you see that as correction, maybe that's your own insecurity talking.
It's not insecurity. When you immediately do something different after I do it, that's a correction. That's telling me I did it wrong. Maybe sometimes you do it wrong. I'm not going to pretend otherwise just to protect your feelings. But I need to be allowed to do things wrong so I can learn. Every mistake you prevent is a lesson I don't get to learn. And every mistake I don't prevent is my grandson suffering unnecessarily. I can't stand by and let him be uncomfortable when I know how to help. He's not suffering. He's experiencing normal baby discomfort that I'm learning to handle. But you treat every cry like an emergency. Because to me, his discomfort is an emergency. I can't turn off my instinct to help him just because you want to practice. Then you need to learn to turn it off sometimes. I need space to develop my own relationship with him.
What if your relationship with him develops in a direction that's not best for him? What if your learning process hurts him?
Then that's my responsibility to figure out. But I'll never figure it out if you don't let me try.
Some things are too important for trial and error. His well-being isn't a learning experiment.
Being a parent is exactly a learning experiment. Every parent figures it out as they go. That's how it works. Not when there's someone around who already knows what works. Why reinvent the wheel when I can teach you the right way? There's something else we need to talk about. I overheard you on the phone with Dad yesterday talking about how I'm not handling things well and how worried you are. I was expressing legitimate concerns to my daughter about her well-being. Is that not allowed anymore? You were discussing my private struggles with someone else without my knowledge. How many people are you sharing my business with?
Your father is not someone else. He's your father. He's concerned about you too. We're both worried.
Worried about what exactly? What did you tell him that made you both so concerned about my ability to handle my own life?
We're concerned because you seem overwhelmed, emotional, and resistant to help. Those are legitimate concerns for parents to have.
I seem overwhelmed because I am overwhelmed by you. I'm emotional because you make me feel incompetent. I'm resistant to your help because it's not actually help.
It's not help? Not help? I've been here every day cooking, cleaning, organizing, taking care of the baby while you rest.
You've been here every day taking over my house and my role as a mother. That's not help. That's replacement.
If I'm replacing you, it's because you're not stepping up. I can't do nothing while you figure things out at your own pace.
I was stepping up. I was figuring things out just fine until you decided I needed constant supervision.
You were not fine. You called me crying about breastfeeding, about sleep, about everything. You asked for help.
I asked for support and advice, not for you to move in and take over. There's a huge difference.
Well, maybe you should have been more specific about what kind of help you wanted. I can't read your mind.
I shouldn't have to specify that I want to remain the primary caregiver for my own baby. That should be assumed. You know what scares me the most? I'm starting to resent you, and I don't want to resent my own mother during this important time in my life.
You think this is easy for me? Watching my daughter struggle and being criticized every time I try to help? I'm starting to resent you too.
Then we need to figure this out, because I can't keep living like this. I can't be a good mother when I feel like I'm constantly being judged and corrected.
And I can't stop trying to help just because you're too proud to accept that you might need guidance. This is my grandson too.
I'm not too proud. I'm too overwhelmed by the way you help. It makes everything harder, not easier.
How does having someone cook for you, clean for you, and help with the baby make things harder? That makes no sense.
Because it comes with constant commentary about how I should be doing things differently. It's help with a price tag of my confidence.
If your confidence is that fragile, maybe the problem isn't with my help. Maybe it's with your readiness for this responsibility.
My readiness? I've been ready for this my entire adult life. But I can't prove my readiness when you won't let me actually do anything.
I let you do plenty, but when you're doing things that could be done better or safer, I step in. That's what mothers do.
You're not my mother in this situation. You're her grandmother. Your role is different now, and you need to accept that.
My role as your mother doesn't disappear just because you had a baby. I'm still responsible for your well-being.
You're responsible for caring about my well-being, not for managing it. I'm 32 years old with my own family now.
Age doesn't automatically make you wise or capable. Some people need more guidance than others, regardless of age.
I need to ask you something directly, and I need you to be honest. Do you think I'm a bad mother?
Of course, I don't think you're a bad mother, but I think you're a new mother who needs more support than you're willing to admit.
That's not what I asked. Do you think I'm capable of taking care of him without your constant intervention?
I think you're capable of learning to take care of him, but right now, in this moment, I think you need help.
Learning to take care of him? Learning? He's been here for 2 months, and I've kept him alive, fed, and healthy. What more proof do you need?
You've kept him alive with my help. I've been here almost every day, helping you with everything.
I didn't ask you to be here every day. You decided that was necessary because you don't trust me to handle things on my own.
I decided it was necessary because every time I leave, you call me within hours asking for advice or help with something.
Asking for advice isn't the same as needing daily supervision. I can ask for help and still be capable.
Can you? Because it seems like you can't handle even basic decisions without second-guessing yourself and calling me.
I second-guess myself because of your constant corrections. Before you started coming over every day, I was gaining confidence.
You were gaining confidence in doing things incorrectly. Someone needed to guide you toward better practices.
Better according to who? According to you? Your way is not the only right way to do things.
My way is based on successfully raising 3 children. Your way is based on what? Internet articles and wishful thinking?
Here's what's going to happen. You're going to give me back my spare key, and you're going to start calling before you come over. Every single time.
Are you seriously trying to control when I can see my own grandson? That's manipulative and cruel.
I'm not controlling when you can see him. I'm controlling when you can enter my house without permission. Those are completely different things.
Fine, I'll call before coming over. But don't expect me to wait around if you're too busy or tired to see me when I want to visit my grandson.
You don't get to see him whenever you want. You get to see him when it works for our family schedule. That's how visiting works.
Our family schedule? What family schedule? You barely leave the house, and when you do, it's chaos. What schedule could you possibly have?
The schedule of a family with a newborn, which includes nap times, feeding times, and quiet times that you constantly disrupt.
I've never disrupted anything. I work around your schedule. I come when it's convenient for you.
You come when it's convenient for you and expect us to adjust. That's the opposite of working around our schedule.
When have I ever expected you to adjust? I come over and take care of things so you don't have to adjust anything.
Taking over isn't taking care of things. It's disrupting the routine I'm trying to establish and making me feel useless.
If establishing a routine makes you feel useless when someone helps, maybe the problem is with the routine, not with the help.
The problem is that your help undermines everything I'm trying to build with him. It makes me feel like a failure in my own home. I've been thinking about this a lot,
And I realized something. I love you, but I don't like who I am when you're around anymore.
That's not fair to put on me. If you don't like who you are, that's something you need to work on, not something I need to fix. I don't like who I am because you make me feel defensive, inadequate, and angry all the time. I'm not normally like this. You're not normally a mother either. This is a huge life change, and you're taking out your adjustment stress on me. I'm not taking anything out on you. I'm trying to establish boundaries so I can adjust without feeling like I'm being constantly evaluated. Boundaries are fine, but you're using boundaries to push away the people who love you most. That's not healthy. I'm not pushing you away. I'm asking for space. There's a difference, but you can't seem to see it. Space from what? From love? From support? From someone who cares about you and your baby more than anyone else in the world? Space from judgment? Space from correction? Space from feeling like I can't do anything right in my own life? If you feel like you can't do anything right, maybe that's because you're being too hard on yourself, not because I'm being too hard on you. You literally told me yesterday that I was burping him wrong. How is that not being too hard on me? Because you were burping him wrong. He was uncomfortable and I showed you a better way. That's helping, not judging. That's correcting. And when you correct everything I do, it sends the message that nothing I do is good enough. That's not the message I'm trying to send. I'm trying to help you be the best mother you can be. But I need to figure out what kind of mother I am without your constant input. I need to develop my own style and confidence. What I need from you is emotional support, not practical takeover. I need you to believe in my ability to figure this out. I do believe in your ability, but believing in you doesn't mean I have to stand by silently when I see you struggling. But that's exactly what I need sometimes. I need you to trust that I can work through the struggle without you rescuing me. How can I watch my daughter and grandson struggle when I have the knowledge and ability to make it easier? That goes against every maternal instinct I have. Then you need to fight those instincts, because acting on them is preventing me from developing mine. You're asking me to suppress my love and concern for you both. That's not fair or reasonable. I'm asking you to express your love differently. Support me by believing I can handle things, not by taking them out of my hands. What if I can't handle them? What if something goes wrong while I'm standing back, supporting you from a distance? Then I'll deal with it. And if I can't, then I'll ask for help. But I need the chance to try first. Some things are too important for trial and error. His safety and well-being aren't practice opportunities. I'm not practicing, I'm parenting. And parenting means making decisions, even if they're not perfect. Making decisions is fine, but making uninformed decisions when you have access to better information is irresponsible. You know what? I think we need to take a break from each other. I need some time to figure out how to be his mother without your input. A break? You want to cut me off from my grandson because you can't handle constructive feedback? I want space to develop confidence in my abilities before they're completely destroyed by your constant corrections. If your confidence is that easily destroyed, maybe it wasn't real confidence to begin with. My confidence was fine until you started undermining it every single day. I haven't undermined anything. I've provided guidance and support. If you see that as undermining, that's your insecurity. It's not insecurity when someone literally corrects every decision you make. That's objective undermining. I don't correct every decision. I improve the ones that could be better. There's a difference.
No, there isn't. When you improve my decisions, you're telling me they weren't good enough. How is that not correcting?
Because correcting implies you were wrong. Improving means making something good even better.
But I don't want everything I do to be improved. I want some things to just be accepted as good enough.
Good enough isn't good enough when it comes to my grandson's care. He deserves the best possible care.
And you don't think I'm capable of providing that? You think only you can give him the best care?
I think you're learning to provide that. But until you fully learned, someone with experience should be involved.
Here's what I don't understand. How did you learn to be a mother? Did your mother come over every day and correct everything you did?
My situation was completely different. I had 3 babies close together, and my mother lived across the country. I had to figure it out on my own.
Exactly. You figured it out on your own. So why can't you let me do the same thing?
Because I struggled unnecessarily. I made mistakes that could have been avoided if I'd had experienced help. I don't want you to go through that.
But going through that is how I'll become confident and capable. You can't protect me from the learning process.
I can protect you from some of it, the hardest parts, the most stressful parts. Why wouldn't I want to do that?
Because protecting me from the hard parts means protecting me from growth. I need to handle the stress to build resilience.
You'll have plenty of opportunities for stress and growth. I'm just trying to minimize the unnecessary parts.
But you can't determine what's necessary and what's unnecessary for my learning process. Only I can figure that out.
You don't know what you don't know. How can you determine what's necessary when you've never been through this before?
The same way every new mother throughout history has figured it out, by doing it, by making mistakes and learning from them.
But why make mistakes when you don't have to? Why choose the hard way when there's an easier path?
Because the hard way is my way. It's how I'll develop my own style and confidence instead of just copying yours. I need you to hear this clearly. I appreciate everything you've done, but I need you to step back and let me take the lead with him.
Step back? How far back? Until you don't need me at all? Until I'm just a distant observer in my grandson's life?
Step back until I ask for help. Be available when I need you, but don't anticipate needs that I haven't expressed.
So I'm supposed to wait for permission to help my own daughter and grandson? That's not how family works.
That's exactly how healthy families work. People ask for help when they need it, and others respect their autonomy until then.
Autonomy? You're 32 with a 2-month-old baby. This isn't the time for complete autonomy.
I'm not asking for complete autonomy. I'm asking for the autonomy to try things my way before you jump in with a better way.
And what if your way doesn't work? What if he suffers while you're experimenting with your autonomy?
Then I'll adjust and try something else. That's what parenting is, constant adjustment based on what you learn.
But why go through all that trial and error when I can share what I've already learned works?
Because sharing what works and taking over when things don't immediately work are 2 different things.
I don't take over, I assist. But if you see assistance as taking over, maybe you're not ready for help at all.
I'm ready for help when I ask for it. I'm not ready for unsolicited intervention in every aspect of my parenting. Let me ask you something. When you were learning to be a mother, what did you need most from your support system?
I needed practical help. Someone to show me how to do things correctly so I didn't have to figure everything out through trial and error.
Interesting. Because what I need most is emotional support and confidence building. I need to feel capable, not rescued. Capable comes from knowing what you're doing. And knowing what you're doing comes from learning from people who've done it successfully. But I can't learn if you do it for me. I need to practice the skills, make the mistakes, and build the muscle memory myself.
You can practice and build muscle memory while I guide you. It doesn't have to be all or nothing.
But your guidance comes with takeover when I don't do it exactly right immediately. That's not guidance, that's replacement.
I only take over when you're getting frustrated or when he's getting upset. I'm trying to prevent unnecessary stress for everyone.
But dealing with frustration and learning to calm an upset baby are essential parenting skills. You can't learn them if someone else handles them.
You can learn them gradually. You don't have to be thrown into the deep end immediately.
But I've been thrown into the deep end. I'm his mother. The question is whether you'll let me swim or keep pulling me out of the water. I want to share something with you that I read in a parenting forum. Other new moms talked about feeling invisible in their own babies' lives when family members take over. Parenting forums. You're getting advice from random strangers on the internet instead of from your own mother who successfully raised 3 children? I'm getting perspective from other women going through the same thing I am. And you know what they all said? That they needed support, not substitution.
Random women who are just as inexperienced as you are? Why would you value their opinions over someone who actually knows what she's doing?
Because their experiences validate what I'm feeling. They help me understand that wanting independence as a new mother is normal.
Independence is fine, but it's not more important than your baby's well-being. These women are prioritizing their feelings over practical care.
No, they're recognizing that confident mothers provide better care than insecure mothers. And confident mothers are made through practice, not through being corrected.
Confident mothers are made through success, and success comes from doing things correctly. You can't build confidence on a foundation of mistakes.
Yes, you can. You build confidence by working through problems and seeing that you can handle them. But I'll never know I can handle them if you handle them for me.
Some problems are too important to use as confidence-building exercises. His comfort and safety come first.
His comfort and safety are fine. He's healthy, growing, and loved. The only problem is that I'm becoming a bystander in his care.
You're not a bystander. You're learning. But learning takes time. And in the meantime, someone with experience needs to ensure standards are maintained.
You know what the hardest part about this whole thing is? I love you, and I'm grateful for everything you want to do for us, but I'm starting to dread your visits. You dread my visits? That's heartbreaking. I look forward to seeing you both every day. It's the best part of my day. And that's part of the problem. You've made our daily routine about your needs rather than ours. Your visits aren't based on what we need. They're based on what you want.
What I want is to help my family. How is that selfish? How is caring about you both and wanting to be involved selfish?
It's not selfish to want to help, but it becomes selfish when you help in ways that make me feel worse instead of better.
If my help makes you feel worse, that's not about my helping. That's about your attitude toward receiving help.
No, it's about the type of help you give. Help that comes with criticism and takeover make people feel worse, not better.
I don't criticize. I suggest improvements. And I don't take over. I demonstrate better techniques. That's how teaching works.
But I didn't ask you to be my teacher. I asked you to be my support system. There's a huge difference.
Support sometimes includes teaching. You can't separate the two when someone clearly needs to learn skills.
I don't clearly need to learn skills. I need to practice the skills I'm developing. But you interrupt my practice with your teaching.
Your practice isn't efficient. Why struggle for weeks to learn something I could teach you in minutes?
Because the struggle is part of the learning. Because figuring it out myself builds confidence in a way that being taught doesn't. I've made a decision. I need 2 weeks without any visits. 2 weeks to establish our routine and build my confidence without any outside input.
2 weeks? 2 weeks without seeing my grandson? You're punishing him because you're angry with me.
I'm not punishing anyone. I'm creating space for our family to bond and establish our own rhythm without interference.
Interference? Interference? Everything I do is out of love and concern. How can you call that interference?
Because love without boundaries becomes interference. Because concern without permission becomes control.
You're being dramatic and cruel. 2 weeks is an eternity in a baby's life. I'll miss so much of his development.
2 weeks is nothing compared to the months of my development as a mother that you've already interfered with.
Interfered with? I've supported your development. I've prevented you from making mistakes that would have set you back.
You've prevented me from learning. Every mistake you prevent is a lesson I don't get to integrate.
Some lessons are too costly. Some mistakes have consequences that last longer than the learning value.
What mistakes? What consequences? He's healthy and happy. What terrible consequences do you think I'm going to cause?
I don't know what specific mistakes because I've been here preventing them. That's the point.
That's circular reasoning. You can't justify controlling me by saying you don't know what would happen if you didn't control me. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to respect my request for 2 weeks of space. After that, we'll try again with new boundaries.
And if I don't agree to this ultimatum, what then? You'll cut me off completely? Use my grandson as a weapon against me?
I'm not using him as a weapon. I'm protecting my ability to bond with him and develop confidence as his mother.
You're threatening to keep him from me unless I comply with your demands.
That's exactly using him as a weapon. I'm setting boundaries that allow me to be the mother he needs. If you can't respect those boundaries, then yes, visits will be limited.
This is emotional blackmail. You're holding my relationship with my grandson hostage to get your way.
I'm prioritizing my mental health and my development as a mother. If that threatens your access to him, maybe your access has been too much.
Too much? Too much? A grandmother loving her grandson and wanting to be involved in his life is too much?
When it comes at the expense of his mother's confidence and autonomy, yes. When it prevents bonding and learning, yes, it's too much.
I can't believe you're choosing your pride over your son's well-being and my relationship with him.
I'm choosing his need for a confident mother over your need to be constantly involved. That is choosing his well-being. Mom, I need you to understand something. This isn't about not loving you or not appreciating you. It's about me becoming the mother I need to be.
And I need you to understand that watching you struggle when I could help goes against every instinct I have as your mother.
Then we're at an impasse. Because I can't become confident with you constantly helping, and you can't stop helping when you see me struggle.
So what's the solution? We just accept that we can't be in each other's lives during this time?
The solution is that you trust me enough to let me struggle sometimes, and I trust you enough to ask for help when I really need it.
But how do I know when you really need help versus when you're just being stubborn about accepting it?
You know when I ask for it. When I say, Mom, I need help with this, that's when you know I really need it.
And what if you don't realize you need help? What if you're too proud or too overwhelmed to ask?
Then that's my mistake to make. That's part of learning, recognizing when you're in over your head.
Some mistakes have permanent consequences. I can't risk my grandson's well-being on your learning process?
There's no risk to his well-being. The only risk is to your comfort level with watching me figure things out.
My comfort level matters too. I'm his grandmother, and I love him just as much as you do.
Your comfort level matters, but it can't come at the expense of my development as his mother. That's not fair to any of us. Let me try to explain it differently. When you immediately fix everything I do, it sends the message that I'm not capable of caring for him properly. That's not the message I intend to send. I'm trying to help you care for him in the best possible way. But the impact is that I feel incompetent, even if that's not your intention. And incompetent mothers don't provide good care.
So what do you want me to do? Pretend I don't see ways things could be improved? Ignore my experience and knowledge?
I want you to share your knowledge when I ask for it and trust my judgment when I don't ask for it.
But what if your judgment is wrong? What if you're making choices based on inexperience that could be harmful?
Then I'll learn from the consequences. But most parenting choices aren't life or death. They're just different approaches that work differently for different families.
Some differences matter more than others. Some approaches are objectively better. Maybe, but I need to discover that for myself through experience, not through being told. Why is learning through experience more valuable than learning from someone else's experience? Because when I learn through experience, I own the knowledge. When someone tells me what to do, I'm just following instructions.
Following good instructions leads to good outcomes. Why is ownership of knowledge more important than good outcomes?
Okay, let's try something concrete. I'll agree to weekly visits instead of daily visits. And during those visits, I want you to observe and support, not direct and correct.
Weekly visits? That's going from seeing him every day to seeing him once a week? That's a huge reduction in my involvement in his life.
It's a huge increase in my involvement in his life. Right now, you're more involved in his daily care than I am.
I'm involved because you need the help. If I step back that much, you'll be overwhelmed again.
Maybe I will be overwhelmed sometimes, but I'll also be empowered. And empowered mothers become confident mothers.
What if empowerment leads to mistakes that affect his development? What if your confidence comes at his expense?
What if your interference prevents me from becoming the mother he needs? What if your help comes at my expense?
My help doesn't come at your expense. It comes to your benefit. Everything I do is designed to make your life easier.
Easier in the short term, but harder in the long term, because I never learned to handle things myself.
You'll have plenty of time to learn, but why make the learning period unnecessarily difficult?
Because the difficulty is what builds resilience. Easy doesn't build strength. Overcoming challenges builds strength.
But you don't have to overcome every challenge alone. That's what family is for, to help you through difficult times.
Family is for support during difficult times, not for prevention of all difficult times. There's a difference. I'm going to say this one more time, and I need you to really hear me. I love you. I appreciate you, and I want you in our lives, but I need space to be his mother.
And I'm going to say this one more time, too. I love you both more than life itself, and everything I do comes from that love. I don't know how to love you less intensely.
I'm not asking you to love us less. I'm asking you to express that love in a way that builds me up instead of taking over for me.
I think I am building you up. I'm preventing you from unnecessary stress and mistakes. How is that not building you up?
Because being built up means feeling more capable, not less capable. Your help makes me feel less capable.
If you feel less capable, maybe that's because you're comparing yourself to someone with 30 years more experience. That's not fair to yourself.
I'm not comparing myself to you. I'm trying to develop my own capabilities, but your constant intervention prevents that development.
Development takes time, and during that time, someone needs to ensure standards are maintained. I'm maintaining standards while you develop.
But your standards become my ceiling. I never get to discover what my own standards might be.
What if your standards are lower than what he deserves? What if your natural approach isn't sufficient?
Then I'll raise my standards. But I can't do that if I never get to establish them in the first place. Here's my final offer. Weekly visits, advance notice, and you observe and support rather than direct and correct. Can you accept those terms?
Weekly visits feel like being cut off from my grandson's life. But if those are the only terms you'll accept, then I guess I have to agree.
It's not about cutting you off. It's about finding a balance where I can develop as his mother while still having you in our lives.
I hope you're right about this, Chloe. I hope giving you this space results in the confidence you're looking for and not in problems that could have been prevented.
I hope so too, Mom. But even if there are problems, they'll be my problems to solve. And solving them will make me stronger.
And if you need help solving them, you'll ask. You won't let pride prevent you from reaching out when you really need support?
I promise I'll ask for help when I need it. But I also need you to promise you'll let me ask instead of jumping in automatically.
I'll try, Chloe. It goes against every instinct I have, but I'll try to step back and let you take the lead.
Thank you. And, Mom, I know this is hard for you too. I know you're not trying to hurt me or control me. I know you love us.
I do love you both, more than you'll ever know. And I hope someday you'll understand what it feels like to love someone so much that you can't bear to watch them struggle.
I think I'm starting to understand that. But I hope you'll understand what it feels like to need space, to grow into who you're supposed to be.
I'm trying to understand, honey. I really am. This is just so different from how I thought grandmotherhood would be.
Maybe it can be even better than you thought, once we figure out how to make it work for all of us.
Maybe you're right. I love you, Chloe. And I love him so much it scares me sometimes.
I love you too, Mom. And that love is exactly why we need to figure this out. Because he deserves to have both of us in his life, confident and happy.